Hey everyone, it's Sam.
Hey guys, it's Taylor.
And it's Jessie. Welcome to the Wednesday Night Players Talk. Tonight we'll be interviewing the Assistant Athletic Director for Diversity, Inclusion, and Engagement, Thomas Harris. We'll be asking about his job and the role he plays on the Inclusive Excellence Program. Let's get started.
With everything that's been going on in the world this past year in regards to social injustice, why do you feel that it's important to bring to light within the athletic programs here at Arizona? What do you feel is significant to address now that you work so heavily with this topic?
Yeah, it's important because I think student athletes have a platform that they can use to speak about these things. And, I can get on TV or talk on the radio or do podcast interviews and talk through different things that we're doing, which that's impactful. But at the end of the day, people want to hear from student athletes. And you all have such a great platform to be able to do that. And so we want to empower you all so it's not just us talking. And our fans will be able to relate to you all more, seeing that, if you're struggling with this or if you notice this, our fans will probably relate to that more than if we just sent them a press release from my words. So that's the reason that we've started that, is just to give our student athletes a platform to share how they feel about racial injustice and inequalities and whatever else they want to talk about. And then, second part again?
Why do you feel it's significant? What do you feel is significant to address now that you work so heavily with these types of topics?
Yeah, and I think the most important thing to address with this is the systemic racism. And so there's a lot of talks about definitions of what race means and what racism means and systemic racism and all that stuff. I tend to focus more on systemic racism because that's the problem. And it's rooted in everything that we do. It's rooted in law enforcement, it's rooted in government agencies, it's rooted in even universities. And so we want to make sure our student athletes understand that, one, because we want to protect them from it as much as we can while they're here, but then once they leave, so they're not shocked when they get out into the big world and understand that there's going to be obstacles that they have to face just based off their identities. And so educating student athletes about that now is important because once they get to that point, hopefully we've taught them enough or given them the power enough to believe in themselves to get over those hurdles.
Recently, you've been going around to the teams at the university and speaking to the athletes and coaching staff about this year's motto, Stronger Together. Would you mind telling us how this verbiage came about and why it was chosen?
Yeah, so we wanted to use student athlete voices, but obviously we want to help as much as we can. And when I say we, I mean the Inclusive Excellence Council. So we met as a council and said, all right, we need to give our student athletes a platform. There needs to be a name to it. And we want to get away from things that kind of trigger folks. So we've done a bunch of things throughout the summer that triggered some folks, and, however they feel about that is how they feel about that. But we made our statement and we felt good about where we were as a department. So now it's time to kind of get away from some of the more controversial things and just give our student athletes a voice. And so we came up with a few different words, a few different phrases, and then we gave that to SAC because though we came up with the initial ideas, we still wanted them to be able to vote on it and, have it be their own. So we gave, I'd say, probably 8 different words or phrases to SAC, and then they put it up to a vote. I think there's maybe 25 student athletes represented there. And then overwhelmingly 56% voted for Stronger Together. And we really love Stronger Together as a staff, so we were glad that that's what they chose because right now we have a Together We Bear Down slogan, and it kind of pairs well with the Stronger Together. And so it was the student athlete voice. They came up with it. They felt more tied to that than the others. And then we asked them why. And then they gave us a bunch of different terms and sentences about why they like Stronger Together, what that means to them. And then so we took that and we made 3 themes from all the responses that we got from the student athletes. So Stronger Together is the overarching motto, and then the 3 themes, solidarity, empowerment, and respect, are the 3 themes that are under Stronger Together. And so once again, those all words come from student athletes. We just kind of curated it a little bit more, packaged it up so it's ready to be, publicized.
Awesome. And then we got one more question for you. So you asked some of the athletes on the softball team specifically to define what Stronger Together means to them. And I was actually listening to it, and I loved how you felt passionate enough to answer as well, because you felt that there was no reason to ask them without giving your own answer. So with that being said, would you mind defining for us what Stronger Together means to you?
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, I never ask people to do anything that I won't do, and especially when it's something where you have to be vulnerable and share in front of a group. So I really appreciated the softball student athletes who did that. And so I felt it was my duty to do it as well. And so to me, Stronger Together, it just means family. And it's the same thing I tell the softball team is I come from a big family. I'm the youngest of 6 boys. I have 13 nieces and nephews, 1 million cousins. So family means everything to me. But the important part about family is, there's family that you share blood with, but there's also family that you don't. And so I think in my mind, when I hear Stronger Together, when it comes to an athletic department, we're a family. We don't share blood, but at the end of the day, we have each other's backs. And that's what that means. We're stronger together because we have each other's backs. We won't let anything happen to us, whether it's on or off the court or field of play. And the only way that works is if I can trust you and you can trust me. And if we're in this together, we're definitely stronger, and that's what it means to me.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing, Thomas. We really appreciate you coming out here and being able to talk with us a little bit more about social injustice and the athletic department at the University of Arizona. My name is Taylor, and thank you all for joining us tonight. And me, Jesse, and Sam will see all of our fans next Wednesday on the Players Talk.